the amount of people that have looked at me and said things like, why do you act this way towards this person? Why do you do this? Why did you choose that? And I haven't explained because if I did, would you be able to hear me?
Mm.
And knowing the people that have asked, no. Even if I were to say and speak on the most heinous acts, would you be able to believe me and hold space for that? Because not being believed is also a big thing in this society, especially when you keep within a bubble aspect and you don't see beyond that bubble. So you find it hard to hold space and believe in something that someone's actively been through.
Also, if I may say, there is no reason to have to explain yourself in the first place. If you make
Mm,
a decision, you make a decision for you. And if that means you have to walk away from something or someone or environment, whatever, you don't need to explain yourself. That no, it's kind of like the same thing with a no is a no. A decision is a decision. And if you want to open up, you can. Obviously, you can ask, but you don't have to. You should never be made to feel like you have to explain yourself for making a good decision for your life or for yourself. And I think
yeah.
people have gotten very comfortable with pushing that boundary a bit. Um, because it's just, why should I have to say why? It's a decision I made. I made it for myself. And so I must walk away, or I have to do this thing, or I have to stop talking to this person, or I have to stop going to these events, whatever it may be. Um,
Mm,
it's not good for you. It's your decision, and that's it. That's valid. But it's interesting because I do think I'm not going to get into this, but like I do think this has also a bit of connection with misogyny here because it's
mm,
also like if it were a man, would they be asked why? Because I don't think so. It's just a decision that your bro had to make or this guy had to make. It's not like, well,
yeah.
you should really learn how to forgive and maybe you should work it out. And even within relationships, like romantic ones, it's like maybe you should work it out. It's like I can't tell you how many times I have to go through this discussion, and it's like, why do I have to work it out when I'm not feeling safe? I'm
They should
gonna
go
go
to
if a
therapy.
right. It's not my responsibility to educate somebody else and how to treat me like a human being. If you don't know, then you're not in my life. End of story.
It's also a representation of why perpetrators get away with what they get away with in a society that sees the victims as the disruptor
Mm-hmm.
of people's comfort zones.
Mm-hmm.